Have you ever felt like you're literally working against yourself? You know, one part of you is flooring the gas pedal, ready to go, while another part is just slamming on the brakes? Well, get this, it's not a flaw in your character, it's actually a program. Today, we're going to decode what's called the algorithm of ambivalence, the hidden code that runs all our inner conflicts. And trust me, the answer might just change how you see yourself.
So let's start with the big one. Why on earth do we put off doing the things we actually want to do? That project you're super excited about, or that tough conversation you know you need to have. We want the result, right? But something just stops us. It feels like we're sabotaging ourselves. But what if it's something way more logical than that?
And here's the core idea we're going to unpack. That struggle you feel, it is not a character flaw. It's not a weakness. It's a program. Your mind is running on this incredibly complex series of commands. It's just following an algorithm. But to really get a handle on this, we need to be crystal clear on what an algorithm actually is.
Now, when we hear the word algorithm, our minds usually jump straight to computers, right? And that's a perfect starting point. An algorithm is just a procedure, a finite set of step-by-step instructions to solve a problem. But what if the hardware wasn't a computer chip? What if the hardware was you?
This is where it gets really fascinating. According to the work of clinical psychologist Dr. Michael Lukens, this isn't just some clever metaphor. His whole theory, which he calls the physics of emotioning, suggests that we are literally running algorithms in the hardware of our brain and the software of our mind. It's this incredibly complex dance between the two that creates our internal programming.
So if we're running on all these different algorithms, what's the master code? What's the one program behind that constant feeling of being stuck or torn? Well, the theory calls it the ambivalence algorithm. This is the big one, the central program driving almost all of our contradictory behaviors.
And you know what? At its very core, this master algorithm is shockingly simple. The one fundamental command is this: I want something that I'm actually afraid of. That's it. That one single powerful conflict, that one line of code, explains so much of our behavior that feels totally irrational.
And just think about how often this pops up in our lives. We say we want love, a deep connection, but we're terrified of being vulnerable. We claim we want the truth, but we're secretly afraid of what we might uncover. We dream about success, but we're also scared of the pressure, the failure, or even the change it would bring. This push and pull is totally universal.
So this one little algorithm creates two incredibly powerful opposing forces inside of us. You've got the approach drive on one side, that's the wanting, the desire, the part that pushes you forward. And then on the other side, you've got the avoidance drive. That's the fear, the resistance, the part that's pulling you back. This constant tug of war is the engine of procrastination.
Okay, to really understand how this algorithm runs, we need to look at our inner operating system. Dr. Lukens' theory pictures our emotional capacity kind of like a hydraulic container. It can only handle so much pressure before things start to get, well, messy. So let's look at the three zones where this system operates.
So what's actually filling up that container? According to this framework, it's these 9 atomic emotions. Think of these as the fundamental building blocks of your entire experience. They're the software running on your hardware. Every single complex feeling you've ever had is just a unique combination of these core elements.
And these emotions operate inside 3 different zones. Way down at the bottom, you have the clueless zone. That's where we're acting on feelings we don't even realize we have. Then in the middle, you've got the affective zone. This is the sweet spot. You're aware of what you're feeling, and you can actually use that information to solve problems. But if the pressure gets too high, you launch into the acting out zone. Your tolerance is just completely exceeded, and your behavior becomes self-defeating. You're no longer solving the problem, your reaction is the problem.
Okay, so if this whole system is so important, why do we instinctively try to ignore it all the time? Why do we work so hard to avoid looking at what's really happening inside us? Well, the reason is probably a lot simpler than you think.
It really just boils down to this. We avoid our inner world because, as the theory puts it, our feelings can be noxious. Bad emotions feel physically bad. We have this deep, gut-level reaction to the actual sensation of fear or shame or sadness, and our first instinct is just to make it stop.
And this brings us to a really crucial game-changing idea. So many of us think our feelings are the problem, that our anger or anxiety is what makes us act out. But this theory suggests the complete opposite. Our feelings don't make us do anything. They are messengers. They are data points telling us about motivations and actions that are already happening inside of us.
So when we try to numb our anxiety with distraction or ignore our sadness, we aren't solving the real problem at all. We're just silencing the messenger. It's like hearing a fire alarm blaring, and instead of checking for a fire, you just rip the alarm off the wall because the noise is annoying, and then you walk away while the house burns down. We have to address the fire, not the alarm.
This really leads us to the ultimate goal. You have to understand that a rich, full emotional life will always have ambivalence. It will always have conflicting feelings. The objective isn't to get rid of them or to reach some state of perfect robotic certainty. The goal is to understand all the different parts of your ambivalence before you act, knowing that you've got maybe 3 fears and 2 desires all pulling at you. Now that is the key to making a much better plan.
And so that's the question I want to leave you with. The next time you feel stuck, or you're procrastinating, or you feel pulled in a million different directions, don't ask, how can I stop feeling this way? Instead, I want you to get curious. Ask yourself, what is this algorithm that's running right now? What is my ambivalence trying to tell me? Because the messenger has arrived and it has something really, really valuable for you.